Hello again. As you probably know, there is a burden that every adult chess improver has to bear, and this burden is called blundering. As an adult chess improver, you just need to live with the fact that you will probably never stop blundering, and that you will have many games in which you manage to have a winning position or gaining material and you still lose because you are suffering either of some kind of tunnel vision or you just straight away blunder. And this is what happened to me in the last 3 games. I had a better position, I had material advantage in some of the games, but then tunnel vision happened and I managed to lose all of 3 games. So my rapid rating is again below 1900. I will show you now the games because I was committed to make the video of every game, but I think you will understand that these games are just too painful for me, so I will not go in great details about every move. I will just quickly show you the moves which led to a critical position where either tunnel vision or blunder happened. I will shortly discuss the blunder and then we can move to the next game. So in this video I will show you these 3 games, which cost me many rating points, but like I said, as an adult chess improver, this is just something you have to live with. Okay, so let me show you the games. Here we are. So in the first game I was white, and the opening was some kind of call system from my side and some kind of King Indian defense from his side. And I will just go quickly through the moves because I have played everything correctly. So I'm gaining space, I'm developing my pieces, all is fine. Okay. So I'm just moving forward, fortifying my knight, he takes, I take, and now he goes forward, I take the knight, and now this pawn will soon fall. He tries to protect it, but now he has to go back, and now I'm up a pawn. So now I have the material advantage and also the positional advantage. If you just hold on here for a moment, you can see my space, my rook is active, my queen is centralized, both of my bishops are, well, I would say pretty good, they do a good role. My rooks are connected, my king is safe, so you can see immediately that I have not just material advantage but also positional advantage. So the game went on. He played this strange move with the queen. I kick the queen away, centralize the rook, and now I have 2 pawns on the 5th rank. Okay, and this is the position which engine evaluates like +5, so I should be crushing here for all the obvious reasons. If you know anything about chess, you know that this position should just win. And now the tunnel vision happened. So my idea here was to play something like queen to d4 and then threatening to push the pawn on e6 and then either win the bishop, or if he doesn't do anything, I can deliver checkmate here on h8. So I saw the main idea, and this is in fact the main idea in the position. But I was thinking, if I play queen to d4, then he can just block with the bishop, and now I don't have this move anymore. And the funny thing is that I did spend some time thinking how to get around this, and I just didn't see the most obvious continuation of the attack here. And the most obvious continuation is just to reverse the move order. So not queen to d4 and then pawn to e6, but just another way around. So e6 right away, and now let's say he takes, and now he can play something like bishop to c6, attacking my queen, but then I just have this queen to d4, and in order to avoid mate, black will have to give away even more material. And let's see what I actually did in the game. So after this bishop to d7, I played rook to c1, attacking the queen, which is actually not a bad move. It still allows me to play e6 and then putting the queen on this strong diagonal. So after he played queen to d8, now e6 should be played. But like I said, I had this tunnel vision. I saw that I can play queen to d4, then e6, but I didn't see the opposite move order, and I just pushed the wrong pawn. And now all of a sudden the position is equal, and very soon it will become worse for me. So now he's attacking my queen. I have to move my queen away. Now I move the queen to d4, and he just played bishop g7, defending along this diagonal. And now I played b5, bishop d7, and here again I have some advantage. I should take this pawn and just continue playing actively, because after he takes back with the queen, then I can just penetrate with the rook. So rook c7, penetrating, and then putting another rook here. So this is another missed opportunity, because here I was thinking that, you know, maybe one day he will take the pawn, I will take back, and then after I move my queen, this bishop is unprotected. So instead of playing actively here and just going for the initiative, thinking how to penetrate with the rook by taking the pawn first, bringing another rook in the attack and so forth, I was just playing defensively, and I played bishop a1, thinking that now my bishop is protected. But now he's the one with the initiative, so he played bishop to e6, and now I kind of centralized my rook, but now he takes the pawn, takes back, and you can see that my attack is gone, and even worse, he's the one having the attack now. So with this move he's threatening to win these two pawns, both with check. This one should be taken with the bishop, of course, first, and now I just have to defend. And it's very difficult when you have the winning position, and you know you had a winning position, to change your mindset to the defense. So I had to go back with my queen. He played bishop to h6, again threatening all kinds of things, taking and then taking with the bishop with the fork. So I have to think how to defend. Now he's attacking my queen, and at this moment I practically committed suicide. I was so frustrated that I'm now under the attack. I have the difficult, and I would say almost impossible task of defending this position, while just a few moves ago I was practically winning. So I made a move which I always tell my students not to make, and this is queen takes a7. If you take the a pawn with the queen in the middle of being attacked, that means that your queen is forever out of the game. He has the queen in the attack, you don't have the queen in the defense, so this is just a losing move. And I knew this, but you know, I just want this to end. And the computer evaluates this minus 40. So you can see how bad it is to take the a pawn while you are being attacked. So we played several more moves, and yeah, I got checkmated very quickly. I mean, this is impossible to defend. Okay, so this was the first game I lost due to my tunnel vision and blundering. Now let's see the second game. Here I was black. So e4, I went for Philidor defense. And everything went normal until the point in which I started to make some silly mistakes. Okay, this is all fine. You see I'm already threatening to win a piece. I have space advantage, my center control is okay, so everything is fine with my position. This is also fine. Developing my bishop, this is fine. He puts the rook on the same file as the queen, so the queen goes away, and also defends this pawn, so this is also fine. And now the first mistake from my part, and this is actually positional blunder. So I did play this break c4, kicking away his bishop all the way back to f1, which is actually not a bad square for his bishop. Of course, if he plays bishop to e2, then I can just snap this pawn. I'm attacking this twice, and he will be cutting away the defense of the pawn. But I still call this a positional blunder, because one shouldn't make this kind of breaking moves until all the pieces are developed. So here I should have just centralized the rooks first, and then go on and play this kind of moves. And also this is something I teach all my students. Never go into middle game chaos until all your pieces are on their optimal squares. Of course, unless there is some threat. So here the position is pretty stable, so I shouldn't be initiating breaks while I didn't continue my development. So this is a positional blunder. Okay, he took. Now knight to c5. And here you can start seeing some blunder vision problems. So this actually hangs this pawn, but not really, because I'm attacking this pawn 3 times. So if you calculate this, white shouldn't take this pawn. But nevertheless, I'll just be completely honest, I didn't see this. So when I played knight to c5, I didn't see that this pawn is now undefended. So this is the first kind of blunder. So now he goes forward. Okay, this is fine. And now this is a little bit tricky. He has a passed pawn, but also this pawn is kind of isolated. And now instead of keeping my knight here on this nice c5 square, which I wanted to do from the beginning of the game, and just playing actively with moves like e4, I did another positional blunder, and I just retreated this knight back, thinking that this is how I'm defending this pawn. So here the pawn is attacked, and I'm thinking defensively. I'm thinking how to defend the pawn. But I should be thinking how to play forward moves. So the way to defend this pawn is not to play a backward move with the knight, but to play a forward move with the pawn. And everything would be okay here. But okay, I played this knight to d7. He played bishop to b2. And now again I missed a simple tactics, and this is just to temporarily sacrifice this pawn, because this pawn is a weakness in my position. I should get rid of it. And if he takes with the bishop, I can just bring my rook here, and now, well, he will not be able to defend this forever. Even if he does, I'm getting much activity for the pawn. So I missed this one. So instead of this, I put my bishop here, and now he has all the activity, so he's kicking away my queen now. I did take this knight thinking that I'm doubling the pawns, but this doesn't matter. So he's now kicking my queen all the time. Okay, I have to be careful. And now he's attacking my pawn. I move the rook here, hoping that maybe I can take his rook, and then after his rook takes rook, I can take this pawn. So he takes the pawn. And now I made the biggest blunder. So instead of just taking the pawn and exchanging some pieces, so if he takes, I can, I don't know, even take with the queen or with the bishop, doesn't matter. But instead of this, I decided to overcomplicate, and I played this rook e8, which is a blunder, because I am pinning this pawn temporarily, and it is true that he cannot defend this pawn with moves like f4 because this pawn is pinned. But what I didn't see is that this pin is not forever. So he just played rook to d5, and now I have to move my queen away, and now this pawn is no longer pinned, so he can just protect his pawn here. And now I'm trying to do something, and finally I take the pawn, thinking that maybe I will get rid of this bishop. You can see that this bishop is also hanging, not currently because the rook is here, but everything is hanging. And this last move, knight takes a4, is of course a blunder, because he can now just play d7, forking the queen and the rook, and this is just game over. So this is the second game. Let me now show the third one. Here again I am black, and again we play Philidor, but this time we go straight to the endgame. So these are the positions I'm very familiar with, and I actually played this very well. All my moves and all my pieces make sense here. You can see, just if you look at this position, his knights, I mean, where can they go? They just don't have any prospects. My knight is very active on c5. My bishop is very nice. And this is also a good bishop against his bad bishop. You can see that the pawns are fixed in the center. His is on light square, mine is on dark square. So I have a good bishop. Very easy development plans. I can develop the knight either here or here. Easy to centralize rooks. The king is active. It controls all these penetration squares. So I have a great position here. So the game continued here, and eventually I did manage to win the pawn. He has this weakness. This e4 pawn is a weakness for him. So yeah, eventually I won the pawn. And now I have won the pawn. All my pieces are better than his pieces. So the computer evaluates this as -3.5. So this is practically winning. And also you can see here I'm hitting the pawn. So he'll have to passivize his rook. So after this exchange, his rook is passive. And yeah, this should just be winning. But now my adult improver side takes over, and I was thinking like, oh, okay, I'm up in material, so I want to trade. Even though I'm only one pawn up, so it's not really some material advantage. My real advantage here is in my pieces. I have the active rook, I have the good bishop, I have the active knight. So the decision to trade pieces here is first strategical blunder. It's just a wrong understanding of the position. And the second thing, it will lead to tactical blunder as well. So here I played knight to d2, wanting to exchange knights. Stupid decision. Especially after he takes knight, I take back with the rook. He can just here block my rook with bishop to d3. And now you can see that my rook is almost trapped. He can just take it with the king. So here, in order to save the rook, I have to give up the pawn. So I'm giving up my advantage immediately. So e4, king c3, e3, protecting the rook. He now takes the pawn, and now I bring the rook here. So now the material is equal, and all my advantage disappeared. So suddenly his bishop came alive. Remember, previously his bishop was a bad bishop, now this is a great bishop. My very active knight was exchanged for his garbage of the knight. So yeah, now the position is equal, and psychologically I'm starting to be aware of the fact that I had much better position with material advantage, and now I'm basically fighting for a draw. So here I started to make some other blunders. It started when he protected the pawn. I played g6 here, thinking that I'm protecting this h7 pawn, but in fact I'm creating another weakness, and now he just takes my pawn. So now he's up in material, and he has more active pieces. So now I have to fight for a draw, and this didn't go very well. So several moves were played here. I played now c5, thinking that I want to have my pawn on the dark squares, maybe bring my king closer to the center, but not such a good idea. Now he's attacking my pawn. I'm defending, and he just gives check. Now I lose this pawn. I take his pawn back, but now he's pinning my bishop, threatening to win the bishop here by this bishop b5 move. So I need to go even back with my king, and overall very bad position for me. Here the threat is king to d6, winning my bishop. So I have to move my bishop away, and here there is just nothing more to play. I did try some tricks, but yeah, now he's just quicker. So yeah, these were the 3 games in which I lost 23 rating points, all due to either obvious strategical blunders or just straightforward tactical blunders. So, like I said, this is just something you have to live it if you are adult chess improver. This is just something which follows your chess journey, and after these kind of falls, you just have to stand up and try again. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Cheers!